What happens if you get in a wreck with a police officer? I bet you don't know what to do. Hopefully it's never happened to you, but I'm going to let you know what happens.
Welcome to Attorney 911, the podcast, with attorney Ralph Manginello. Let's get some answers to the most asked questions. We break down the legal issues and provide expert advice to help you navigate life's legal challenges. You might even call us your first responder to a legal emergency. Up next, real-world cases, valuable insights, and practical tips you can use today. It's time to get smart like a lawyer.
If you have the unfortunate luck of getting into a wreck with a police officer, you're screwed. And why do I say that? Well, first of all, they're a government entity. And government entities fight cases very, very hard. And even if it's their fault, which a lot of times it is, they're going to fight it even harder. For example, here in Texas, in Harris County, Texas, we just had a case. We represent an elderly lady. She's a retired nurse, about 60 years old. She's on her way home, driving down a fairly busy street here in Houston, Texas. She's going about 35 to 40 miles an hour through an intersection. Officer has a red light. And by law and by their organization's codes, they're supposed to maintain safety and clear the intersection before they go through. This officer did not and went through this red light and crushed our lady. She's severely injured. She has herniated discs in her back. She's had injections into her back that have not helped. She needs back surgery. And just the other day, a judge in Harris County, who I actually like, but made a wrong decision in this case, signed an order stating that the city was not liable because these officers were on their way to an emergency call, which is simply not the case. And I could go into a lot of details. They were not on their way to an emergency. They were on their way to another car collision that was not an emergency. And she made the wrong decision. Now, what does that mean? Well, unfortunately, what that means is our lady, who's severely injured in this collision, no longer has a case. She's going to have to go to the appellate courts, and it's very difficult to get decisions overturned. And then even if she does, the city will fight it, like I already told you, and they're going to go to the Texas Supreme Court. All these appellate court, writing these briefs and filing them and going up a level are expensive, very, very expensive. So our client and I, we have to make a decision on if we are willing to spend the necessary money to hopefully get a better decision. And we have to analyze the case law and the law according to the judge's decision and make that decision. But my whole point is, if you get in a wreck with a Houston Police Department vehicle or state vehicle, most likely you're screwed. The courts are not going to rule in your favor. There's case law that's very difficult to navigate, and unfortunately for you, you're probably out of luck.
You just learned something new. Attorney 911, the podcast, with attorney Ralph Manginello. We hope you found today's conversation insightful and helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to the show so you'll never miss an episode, and share it with family and friends who might benefit from the things we talk about. A new podcast launches every week. That means you get more legal tips, real-life cases, and expert advice. This is Attorney 911, the podcast.